Hi, I'm Darren Root, CEO of RootWorks.
And I am Stacy Kildall, owner and operator of Kildall Services, LLC.
Coming to you with another episode of Talk in the Clouds.
Talk in the Clouds.
So, Stacy, today I think we want to spend some time just talking about, talking about the cloud. The great enabler of the cloud is time and space becomes pretty irrelevant.
Infinite. So,
I want to talk a little bit about just delivery of information. And I'm going to give you an example. And I think you're going to agree with me wholeheartedly on this one.
Okay.
All right, so we both spend a lot of time on airplanes.
Yes.
Okay, so we get used to a certain way of traveling, right?
I refer to it as being a travel baby.
I think it's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I recently, over the summer, had to travel to Denver on 3 different occasions. And I fly American almost exclusively.
I fly Delta.
Because status, right? Okay. But going to Denver, my only direct flight option was Frontier. Okay. So I'm in Denver, and my normal process is, I have a flight today. Mm-hmm. I check in on my app.
Right.
My mobile boarding pass is on my phone.
Right.
Right. I'm done. Takes me about 2 seconds.
Yep. I have the same process as well.
All right. So become normal for you, right?
Yes.
All right. So
normal.
I'm flying Frontier, and I can't check in. They don't have a mobile app. Can't check in online. Don't have a mobile boarding pass. So all of a sudden, I can't just go to my room and open my laptop. I don't have a printer.
Right.
There, right?
I have to trudge down to the business center.
You have to find the business center.
Right.
So they took what had been is a 2-second process for me and turned it into an ordeal.
Yeah, like 15, 20 minutes.
I don't want to fly them again, ever.
Ever. You're done. Now my question to you is, did they have Wi-Fi on the plane?
No.
Are you used to that?
Absolutely.
So how often do you think, you have something on your to-do list, and you think, you know what, I've got 3 hours on a plane. I'm just going to get it done.
And you get on the plane, there's no Wi-Fi?
And you get on the plane and you...
honks you off.
Yeah.
So my point of the story is that the fact that wasn't that Frontier's a bad airline.
Nope.
It wasn't that they offered good customer service. It wasn't that they got me to Denver and back on time. Those were not the issues.
Right.
They didn't allow me to do business the way I had gotten used to doing business.
Right, you're accustomed to.
Right. So what my point is that as a practitioner, all of a sudden now I'm used to having information at my fingertips. Are you?
Yeah. If I can do almost everything from my phone or my iPad.
So when somebody doesn't offer that to you, how does that feel?
It gives me the SADS.
Right. So that's another one, SADS. I like that one too. You're teaching me a new word about every episode.
Yeah. So yeah, or I would say it's not my jam.
My vocabulary will be up by 12 words by the end of the year.
At least 12, maybe 13.
But I mean, I think what we want to really emphasize to our listeners today is how important it is to understand how they physically operate in their own personal space today.
Right.
So we're used to traveling. We're used to checking in on, making our reservations at hotels. We're used to having access to our online banking or to Fidelity or Schwab.com. And that's what we're used to, or QuickBooks Online.
Yes.
Right? Or Intuit Online Payroll. All these things we're used to having access online.
And what I think is interesting is a lot of small business owners and a lot of accounting practitioners, they're doing that in their personal lives, and they don't realize that they can very easily transition their business lives that way as well.
I think it's even worse than that. I think they don't think about it.
Really?
I think they see it in their personal lives, and there's a disconnect that their customers want to live that way too.
Interesting.
I think most small business owners, practitioners are so overwhelmed with their day-to-day.
Yeah.
They live a certain way, but then their practice or their business stays over here, and they don't realize how important that their customers or their clients are living that way too.
Right.
Because it's a disconnect. I've written a few articles on it. We call it professional disconnect. You're living over here, you're serving clients over here, and yet your clients want to be over here too.
Right.
So what do you, I mean, we got to do something about that.
And the ones that realize that the ones that don't have that disconnect and they realize, I think a lot of them feel really overwhelmed because there are so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, think about, we were talking earlier about accessing data. How can you access the data? When you're dealing with accounting software, there's a bunch of different ways.
Sure.
You can log in. I have a project that I'm working on at home right now, and I can't have it my hosting because I have to keep the file in QuickBooks 2003.
Okay.
Because it's for an attorney who's working with the DOJ. So I have to delete some transactions, but I have to keep it in 2003. So I have to have access to that. So I have to have a remote access.
Sure.
Some people want to be able to have QuickBooks hosted or Office hosted or whatever software they're using hosted on a remote server. And other people they realize that they want that software as a service, whether it's an online calendar or an online accounting software.
Yeah.
They don't understand and they don't realize that or maybe they do, but they don't know the difference and they don't know how to choose which is going to be the best option. Maybe not even just for themselves, but for their clients too. They don't even know the questions to ask.
They're overwhelmed, so they're paralyzed with indecision.
Exactly.
You know, you'll get a kick out of this when I actually have to go get my hair cut.
Okay.
I do get half off though, right?
You do.
I knew you would like that. All right. So, you know, I used to go to this regular barber guy, and barber chairs the whole deal, right? Sit down, wait for him, do that whole deal. And then I went to this other one, and I just logged in and I booked online. I went to their website. Because my youngest son, who goes to Indiana University, said, "Hey, Dad, you can just book online at this other one. It's really cool. It's kind of a hip place." And so I went online and I just booked.
Yeah.
You know, I'm busy during the day, so these things occur to me about 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
Right? And
for me, it's usually 3 a.m. and
Yeah.
bolt upright in bed.
And I really don't want to go sit 8 people deep
Right.
in
wait.
chairs, right?
Yeah.
So I logged in and I booked this appointment, and I go there the next day and they know who I am. They're waiting for me. I get done. I'm out of there in 15 minutes, and I've not gone back to the other barber since.
That reminds me of a story. My husband and I were going to go have dinner, and when we don't get babysitters a lot, but when we do, we usually try and go someplace really nice that we would never be able to take.
So McDonald's, you go to the nice side of McDonald's.
Right. Right. We maybe Burger King if we're feeling a little crazy. But no, we try and find like a nice restaurant that we haven't been to and that we would never take the kids to, right? And the other day I went online and I went to, I think maybe like Metro Times, one of the local Detroit papers, online newspapers, to figure out which had been voted the best. And I picked the top 3, and the one that I wanted to go to, I couldn't make an online reservation. I had to call, so we didn't go to that one.
If you're not on Open Table, you almost don't exist in my world.
Even if you're not on Open Table, but I couldn't even go to their website. Sometimes they're not on Open Table, but you can still go to their website and make a reservation.
Right.
I had to call, and I'm not going to call.
We don't want to call anymore.
I don't want to call anymore.
Right. It's just a hassle.
It is.
So I think what we want our listeners to understand is this professional disconnect. I want our listeners to think about the way they want to do business personally. You know, making reservations on Open Table, making reservations online, getting their hair appointments online, getting access to information, tax returns, financial statements, payroll check stubs, logging into QuickBooks Online, whatever that is that they want to do personally, extend that
Yeah, their
to their
clients
business.
want to do it too.
They
Customers
do.
want to do it.
Cool.
High fives. Peace out.